He's a community organizer, the founder of Save Kibaku group in Chibok, a human rights activist and farmer. Dr. Alan Manaseh is also one of the first responders during the aftermath of the abduction of close to 200 somewhat children, girls, from their dormitories at their Chibok school. Dr. Alan Manaseh is also a major voice for the Chibok girls and the community. April 14th will mark exactly 1 year since the abduction of these girls, and there remains no leads as to where these girls could be. Dr. Alan Manaseh joins us via Skype from his home in Nigeria. Dr. Manaseh, welcome to Sahara TV.
Thank you.
Okay, so I know that it's almost a year in April, which is obviously less than 1 month from this date. Since the girls have been missing, how has the community been coping with the loss so far?
Well, the community is still living in that traumatic situation. The parents are almost reaching a point of breakdown because they are getting hopeless. You know, each day approaching 1 year now without a hint of the whereabouts of their daughters. So all about the community is really devastating due to this abduction that is really a catastrophic experience to the entire community.
Okay, so we know that you're obviously one of the first responders that went to the school after they had abducted the girls and also destroyed it. They burnt it down. What developments have been made? Because I know that the finance minister, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, was over there to lay the foundation. In fact, she laid 1 brick as the foundation to start the rebuild. And then we also had a guest on our show last week who's the parents of 2 of the missing girls, that is Reverend Enoch Mark, who was quite upset by this gesture, saying that they are not setting their priorities right. Instead of rebuilding the school, we need our girls back. Then you came in and said that he only spoke for, not for the rest of the parents. What is the sentiments amongst the parents and the community?
Today exactly is 340 days since April 14. These girls have been abducted. And since then, that school has been laying in ruins. There was not any form of even attempting to rebuild that school, because all that Nigeria has been battling with is how to end this issue of insurgency and then restore peace to the entire northeast sub-region. But a few weeks ago, precisely on the 5th of this month, the coordinating minister of the economy was in Chibok at the instance of the government of Nigeria and the development partners that donated for the reconstruction of this school under the initiative called Safe School program. So she went there and had the foundation laying ceremony in that school, together with the parents of some of these abducted girls that were in Chibok. That did not go down well with some people, especially those that are still angry with the government of not responding in a way we so much desire to see these girls back home and alive. So that anger, I agree with so many people that were really angry with that move, because the government did not give these parents, as in clear-cut information as to, okay, aside, we know where the girls are. Nothing more apart from that. And now we are coming close to another information that is saying we don't know where these girls are. So because of that anger, the parents, some of these parents, like Enoch Mark, had to respond in that way, and I understand. But that is not the exact position of the entire community, because yes, we have 219 girls still in abduction, but if, as we all know, in that school alone, those that were writing that exam as at that time, there were over 500 students. So that means from Form 5 to Form 1 to Form 5, there were in excess of 3,500 students in that school, being the only school in that region, in that local government. So we cannot. Yes, the position of the larger community, especially the end fillers of this unfortunate incident, those that are residing in Chibok, they don't have any other high school for their children aside that government secondary school Chibok. Their general opinion and the general feeling of the community is that in as much as we keep the demand for our Chibok girls rescue at the front burner, we keep requesting for their rescue, we will as well accept every development that may come from any government, either Nigerian government or any development partners that may want to participate in the development and the rebuilding of the Bond School.
Okay, so I know that the PTA chairperson, Mr. Dunoma Mper, also issued a statement telling people not to stop politicizing this issue. But I also know that the government had made a commitment under what it calls the Save School Initiative and also the President's Initiative in the Northeast to rebuild this school. So when he mentions to stop politicizing, I know these are not your words, but do you see any type of politicizing of this?
Yes, I understand his statement because immediately the minister visited, there was a press statement by a caretaker chairman of Chibok local government at the instance of the state government, that's the Borno state government, which is in opposition with the federal government. And they are the real owners of that school because that school was a state school. So if the federal government is taking up that school, there should be a diplomatic administrative arrangement that they had to go in with the state government. So those people had to issue that statement outrightly saying we reject the reconstruction of the Chibok Bond School because all we want now is first rescue this girl, then we continue with the rebuilding of the school. Okay. But the position of the PTA chairman asking that this should not be politicized is that any development should be welcome to the community, and for being close to a year now, children are outside of school. It is not healthy for the future of the children at home. So we will welcome that development of the school in as much as we'll keep pressing the government for a concerted effort to rescue these girls.
Okay, so it's almost 3,000 children that are still at home.
Exactly.
Since last year.
No, it is not even 3,000 children that are still at home only. Over 3,000 students, 3,500 students in that Chibok school alone. That means there are other students that are supposed to go to school, but because of lack of school, because of lack of availability of more school to take up a larger number of student intake, that means that is the much they can take for them for now. So we have excess of that number that have been out of school in Chibok alone for close to a year.
Okay, so the rebuilding of the school is actually going to help these students get back to school.
Exactly.
Okay, now talking about finding the girls, the Chief of Army Staff, General Kenneth Minima, recently made a statement where he said that there are only a few places left. In fact, he said about 3 where Boko Haram still has control, and these are the only 3 local government areas in the northeastern Borno state since being pushed out of Yobe and also from Adamawa states. So he expressed hope that in Goza, I think, Kalabaldi and Abadan, that it soon will be liberated. So all these other liberated places, the girls are not there. So he mentions 3 other places left. So what are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What are your sentiments? Could the girls be in those areas?
Honestly, in as much as I would like to disagree with people that say it is hopeless to hope, but this statement coming from the Chief of Army Staff, Kenneth Minima, calls for concern, calls for worry, and our parents at home and our people generally are really not comfortable with that statement coming from the highest military army authority. Because as I put it to some media outlets here in Abuja, I asked this question: if over 53 communities were recovered by the Nigerian armed forces, you know, from the insurgents, and not a single Chibok girl has been sighted or found dead or alive, then it called for concern, because we have only 3 local government, which is bordering Borno states, that are still in process of being taken over by the Nigerian army. So it's really called for concern. But I am worried. What made me so worried was his statement saying that based on what they asked the villagers around those areas recovered, they asked the villagers and there was no hint about the Chibok girls. It's such a sad statement coming from a very high person, a service chief for that matter. It looked like a street statement to me, because how will you ask villagers of the whereabouts of Chibok girls? Well, you are really on a rescue mission, on a recovery mission of our territories. You should have an intel enough to at least serve yourself at that level, not to announce. And another error is, how will you, as an army, going to overrun insurgents tomorrow, and then you'll be announcing over media that, okay, so local government has been taken over, the next local government will be so place. Will the insurgents be there like a sitting ducks waiting for you? No, they will have to move some of their things or some of their people away from that place, you know, in anticipation of the impending attacks. So I am really not comfortable with that statement, and we are calling for, we are calling on this armed forces really to intensify effort and then see to it that they go further than just telling us they have not seen the Chibok girls.
Okay, so now with the elections a week away from today, what's the general attitude towards the voting and the people in the area? Have they collected their PVCs? Have they registered? What's going on?
Yes, based on what I'm receiving from the media, there has been an improvement in the rate of collection of the PVCs, and what I'm seeing here is there is a serious increase in the rate of movement of people from where they are living their life to where they might cast their vote. So people are really preparing for this election, and the level of awareness as to what people want to do is really high around here.
Okay, so now how are the girls that has managed to escape? I believe they're now somewhere in the United States studying. How are they doing? Do you keep in touch with them, or you have nothing to do with them?
Yes, the few of them are in the United States, I think 10 of them, and we have about 18 in American Academy here in Nigeria, about 18 of them, and then the rest of the 57 were in two other schools around Nigeria. And based on what the report I'm receiving, those in the United States are doing okay. Those in the APTI Academy, that's American College in Yola, are doing okay. But the complaint I received from few of the girls are those that are schooling in 2 other locations in Nigeria.
Okay, so now I believe that some of the parents, at least the number of 15, have since died with ailments related to high blood pressure and depression and all that. How have they been assisted so far by the government?
Well, as at now, I don't have exact number of how many parents died, but I know few of them were killed by the insurgents in some other attacks that took place after the abduction of their children. Then some few of them, including my auntie, died as a result of blood pressure related sicknesses, and one other parent, a female, developed post-stress traumatic disorder, and she's been managed by some few medical personnel around Maiduguri at the neuropsychiatric, so she is responding to the treatment now. But generally, the condition of the parents of the abducted girls are really bad, because some of them have since become a figure of their former self, and they are really not doing okay.
Okay,
it's really a traumatic experience.
Okay, so now the 14th is just a few weeks away. Have you planned anything to commemorate this day in the community?
Yes, along with other partners that have been standing by us, we are planning to commemorate this day, but our prayer is we don't want to commemorate 1 year of absence, 1 year of abduction, 1 year of trauma of these parents without the girls. Our prayer is we want these girls to be rescued before the 365
okay.
come.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Alan Manaseh. That was Dr. Alan Manaseh talking to us via Skype from Nigeria. He's one of the first responders and also the voice, one of the major voices behind the Chibok girls. So I'm Fungai Maboreke for Sahara TV. Stay tuned.